Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
They were no. So Edem, I think Edem wants to come in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that some of the claims being made are very important issues that we must further interrogate. I have a follow-up question for Madam who just spoke about party people invading. I would want her to clarify what she means by party people and whether or not the supplier does not have any CCTV or anything to verify, and whether per the assertion she is making, she is saying that all the items that have not been supplied have been carried away by these so-called party people, as she is claiming.
Honorable, please, I don't think she has made that assertion. She only said that the suppliers or the distributors were prevented from accessing the warehouse. And of course, you see,
Mr. Chairman, respectfully, I heard her right. She said the party people took over the warehouse. And I think if you can kindly allow her to answer the question. We all heard her when she said party people after the election. And these are very serious claims that she should be able to validate her claims before this committee. People are watching us.
Let me answer for her, Honorable Edem. I think the party people she meant were just Ghanaians who just took over the warehouse, not necessarily political party people.
Mr. Chair, respectfully, I don't think that the person who made the claim is here.
Edem,
and
that is the deputy minister. And the deputy minister.
Yes. So I'm saying that, Mr. Minister, respectfully, the person who made the claim is here. She should be able to expatiate. Tell us which party people, what activities did they engage in at the supplier's place, for which reason a company was paid 50 million and they failed to supply up to that amount.
Honorable member, the minister has stepped in.
But Mr. Chairman, respectfully.
Yeah.
No, but what is it? No, but if the ministers and
So,
no.
okay, so Honorable Edem, I think that the beginning of this conversation, we were talking about the parties involved. And so in her submission, she just said some party people took over the warehouse, not necessarily political party people taking over the warehouse.
And so, like,
Mr. Chairman,
when
I
we
think
say
that respectfully, some of these things, we beg you, Mr. Chairman, we're all here.
Edem.
She made a categorical statement.
But Edem,
she is in a position to explain herself.
Edem,
we shouldn't
please,
let the minister shield her by
Edem,
the answers that we all heard her.
I think
which
that
party people?
I think that
are you saying that individuals took over the supplier's place, for which reason they failed to supply up to 19 million Ghana cedis? She should be able to answer respectfully.
Well,
Edem, I'm the chairman here.
Mr. Chairman, this.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm not doing my job well? The minister has stepped in. And the minister is telling us it was Ghanaians who went there.
You see, but to be fair, if we are talking about rice, distribution of rice, warehouse, contract, and somebody says a party, the person never said a political party. A party to this.
Listen, please show just a little bit of respect
Mr. Chairman,
for the chairman.
But respectfully, I'm only saying that these things are for public records. It is important for her to say what she said and validate it. You should be able to tell them. If you don't have the floor, how do you speak? That's all we are saying. How do you say that?
Madam, when you made reference to party, what did you mean by that?
Hello. Exactly.
Yes, I would, if it's misunderstood, I meant other people that were not part of the contract that came around the place, and then the agent of the supplier who also did not give us access.
Thank you very much. So
to what the chairman, what your deputy ranking has said. The answer is contradictory to what the deputy rank.
Respectfully, young man, Honorable MP, please. Your chairman has spoken. I think we should end it. You are not more party-like than your chairman who is here taking over the affairs of what we are doing. Respectfully. Respectfully.
Madam Chair, respectfully, I take strong exception to that statement.
Respectfully.
I asked the question because this is a committee of Parliament. Parliament is a house of records.
Take over and do what is expected. Please.
Madam Chair, respectfully, I never said I was more partisan than anybody. It is important for these statements to be placed in proper context. So I respectfully ask that the person should further explain what she meant by party people.
Well,
and I did not mean to say that I was more partisan than anyone.
She has done that. Please.
She gave you a response, yet you are not
honorable members, please. Honorable members, please. Let's respect the chair, and let's respect the fact that I have been given the opportunity to ask questions, and I think that I only give Edem the respect of doing a follow-up because, yeah.
Okay, quiet. I'm in charge here. Quiet. Why can't you guys show a little bit of respect to me? What do you mean? Madam, what you said has brought some controversy. You said party members. No, we said party. A party people. Do you know who they are?
The warehouse, the supplier agent and some other people came in there.
I didn't hear you well.
The supplier agent.
Supplier's agent.
Yes. And some other youth came there.
Okay.
Yes.
To come and take the rice.
No, they didn't take it, but they prevented it from access. The rice is there.
The rice is there?
Yes.
They prevented you at that time
Yes.
to go and access the rice?
Yes.
But now they didn't take anything?
They didn't take it.
And the rice is there?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So,
can you have access to it now?
No.
Why not?
The agent is still not giving us access.
The agent is still not giving you access?
Yes.
Okay. Is it because you haven't paid them?
We have paid the supplier, but the agents are claiming that the supplier haven't paid them.
Okay. So your issue was with the supplier?
Yes.
The supplier took the rice somewhere, and the warehouse people are not giving you access to it because they have an issue with the supplier.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
All right. Continue.
So these items ought to be distributed. I mean, we are talking about rice. Rice has expiration date. If you leave rice in a room for more than a year, the probability of getting infested is high. But so what is the ministry doing about it? Because you see, an agent cannot prevent. These are products of the state. These are products of the state. Once you have paid for it, these are products of the state, and it has to be distributed. So, Minister, I'm a bit worried as to how.
Mr. Chair, so the issue is the ministry paid the supplier. The supplier took the items to a warehouse through an agent. Now the supplier has refused to pay the agent what we paid the supplier. And because of that, we cannot access the rice because the agent says the supplier owes him or the company. And so that's how come we cannot access the rice. But the rice is still there, it's under lock and key. We've made several calls to the supplier to say we need our rice, we need to come for it. And as of now, we still haven't heard from the supplier.
But Minister, this rice in question, at a point was used to feed our secondary schools. This rice that we are talking about, how did you get access to the one that you took to the secondary schools?
That was under a special dispensation from the presidency when we had an emergency, and so we wrote to them, and then they gave us the rice, including some of the distributions we took to I think the Savannah region where they had a conflict.
So in the same spirit, in the spirit of using the presidency to get access to what is under lock and key, can't we do same? Because you see, we still have secondary schools that need rice. We still have secondary schools that need maize. And we have paid for this rice. We have also engaged a transporter who have been paid some monies to distribute these items. Because the transporter is being prevented, he is now forced to even return part of the money to government. And I think that he's still under a contract to distribute 134,000 metric tons, and he's now brought back the money. What if he went to buy tires for his vehicles? He went to buy vehicles to do the distribution and all of that. He's now been forced to pay some monies, when indeed we have failed to get the supplier, get access or give us access to our products, not his product, to our products that we have paid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I think efforts are underway to be able to further negotiate the supplier so that we can retrieve our items. Thank you.
Chairman, I think at this juncture, we need, as a committee, to invite the agent as well as supplier to this committee. They must come to this committee, and that will be our recommendation.
And no, not tomorrow. So, Minister, what are you doing to settle the issue?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, together with my boss, we've called the supplier severally, and we are yet to take the next step to invite the supplier and the agent to our office, and then, like you rightly said, or like the member rightly said, we would hopefully like the supplier and the agent to appear before this committee to answer certain questions. Thank you.
I just want to find out if the supplier, to this extent, is known and can easily be accessible.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, the supplier is known and can easily be accessible.
Why all this time, this dilly-dallying? Let's move ahead.
And so it is established. It is established. Auditors, but did you get access to the warehouse when you were?
Honorable Minister, Honorable Chair. It is, you know, when we had our first meeting with the Ministry of Finance to let them know our initial observations, Ministry of Agric told us that if we were ready, even at that time, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we could go and visit the warehouse. So we told them it was late. So the following day, first thing in the morning, we sent our staff. When we got there, we didn't have access to the warehouse. The owner of the warehouse is different from the owner of the rice. The Ministry of Agric could not even access the warehouse. So for the first day, we couldn't access the warehouse. As for the maize, the lady told us that it had been a long time. She couldn't even find the way to the warehouse of the maize. That was how she told us. That was exactly how she told us. Then the second time we went, that was when we had access to the rice. The warehouse of the rice was open. The owner of the warehouse is different from the owner of the rice. And the owner of the rice told us that they would not, we wanted to count to see how many rice this thing was left. That was when he told us that the rice didn't belong to Ministry of Agric because they didn't pay.
But did you go with a staff from the ministry?
She was there. She was there. The procurement officer was there.
So, okay, so in all of this, I mean, so you realize that, one, I'm happy that the auditors are saying they have cited the rice. I'm happy that the auditors are saying they have cited the rice. And I'm also happy that we have paid for the cost of the rice. Now, what is left is for the supplier to reconcile with the owner of the warehouse so that we can get our rice. And so I think Chair has a direction on this.
Clerk, invite the supplier and then the agent here Thursday. And then the ministry will have to come with them. Yes.
But I also want to find out, I mean, aside the distribution of rice and maize, is Rance your usual transporter? What business, other business does he do with the ministry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I mean, yes, what we do know is that he's one of the transporters that we engage in certain...
No, I ask this because now it appears that his business has been frustrated. I mean, he was engaged to distribute a particular product. Now, he was prevented by some parties involved in the entire process, in the entire value chain. And he has now refunded monies or returned monies to chest, which means that, I mean, in terms of business-wise, the transporter involved is struggling. And so if he had other businesses he's doing with the ministry, then he can now be doing reconciliation. Other than that, I'm hoping that by Thursday, the committee is able to get the supplier and the agents involved so that the gentleman involved can now resume his contractual obligations and continue to distribute this rice. Because they all have expiration dates. If the purpose for which this rice were bought is even over, luckily for us, we have schools, we have prisons, especially prisons, that we can take these products to serve the good people of this country. Thank you, Chairman.
So, Chairman, just a small addendum to what
he's done. Okay. So you be the next to take over Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Oh, okay. So just before I go to my substantive portion, let me clarify from the report we have. Does the supplementary report that was submitted, this one, on page 18, it actually says that the contract quantity for transportation that RANS has to execute is 134,000 metric tons. And then they were paid 50 million Ghana cedis, but they actually transported 35,000. And so the quantum of money that they should have earned, they should have been paid, is 30.9 million. That's why they have refunded the 19.1. So based on work done, they were overpaid. And so they have refunded the overpaid component.
Honorable, while I agree with you, I think this has to do with contract. So you engage them that I want you to distribute 134,000 metric tons of rice and maize. Now, you pay him half the amount that is due. You've paid him 50 million of the amount. He's in the process of distributing. It could even be that out of this 50 million, he had to buy new trucks so that he's able to deliver on time. Now, he's prevented by certain circumstances beyond his control. And that is the worry. Yes, he might have distributed 30-something million of the products, but the expectation was that he was going to distribute 134,000. And because of certain circumstances, because certain parties prevented him from doing that, he's failed in doing that. And that will be a worry in terms of business to the company involved.
Right. Let me take you to paragraph, page 102 of the report, volume 1. It talks about 65.2 million as part of the BTAs that has been rejected as services that has not been rendered by the contractor. Honorable Minister, could you explain, could you rather confirm if these rejections are valid
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yes, I think rejecting it at this point is valid because that's still another runs logistics. So once the work, we're anticipating that this money will have come so that as he's doing, then we'll pay. But the work is not done.
So at least this one, you agree with the auditors, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the auditors also make some observation of no evidence of maintenance of aging analysis of arrears. It appears your record systems are not good enough. Is that the case?
No, Honorable.
Can you describe to us how you handle your records such that you are able to keep a good analysis of arrears and commitments that are verifiable usually by auditors?
Honorable, one clear example is what we were just discussing, that among all the money that's or the claims that they say were already paid, and we've been able to prove that as at the time we had correctly classified them. So what we usually do is that, Honorable, all our entries are manual. In fact, in the first place, when we receive claims, we enter them into a database, indicating what the contract sum is, how much has been paid, how much has been satisfied, how much has been released, and out of the release, how much has been paid. So from that, we're able to determine our outstanding commitments and then our outstanding claims. So this is what gives us an overview of our liabilities at any point in time. And we've been doing this usually monthly. We reconcile with our schedule officers at Ministry of Finance. In this particular case, the data that the auditors use in doing this audit, we provided it. We gave it to Ministry of Finance after consultation, and then that was given to them for the
auditors recommend that instead of these manual entries and keeping your manual database, they recommend that you should use the GIFMIS platform to handle these. Is that something that is feasible? Can you migrate to that and do that henceforth?
Thank you, Honorable. Much as, we see the wisdom in going digital, especially in data management. But the entries, as at now, was what we are saying that you needed to tweak the GIFMIS to get a model to be able to handle this recommendation that they are talking about. Because if I receive a claim today, it cannot just directly go into a GIFMIS system. I needed to properly classify it and then be sure that I have funds that I can process in the GIFMIS system. So until I have funds to process, I may have to manually, enter and keep in my database. If you go to the GIFMIS system, you will not be able to see it because it's not in payment process. So we have seen some wisdom in some of the recommendations, but we also noted that some of them, for now, is not practical.
Auditors, do you have any quick comments?
Honorable Chair, as we stated in the report, with respect to aging analysis, we were not provided with aging analysis of the outstanding payables and commitments. With respect to our recommendations that we made, we believe that when these recommendations are implemented, it will go a long way to improve on the liquidity management of the MDA.
So, Ministry, do you have any aging analysis? Do you have?
Honorable, it's in the GIFMIS system. In whatever. What happened is that Honorable, the recommendation, the aging analysis that they are talking about, I also listened to the Chief Director when he was talking. In the public sector structure, maybe this is very feasible in the corporate structure, but in the public service structure, it's other means that we use. In what way? Because invoices are raised based on release funds. If you don't have release funds, it's difficult to actually, forecast when you are going to pay what. You can only have them, and then as and when you have allotment or budget, then we pick. So we have agreed with them that it's something that we have to think through. But for the public sector, I've realized that recommendation ran over, when I look at the report, it's run over almost all the MDs. So what it means is it's a public sector structure problem, not at the MDA level.
So the auditors have some good commentary for you. Verification of assets existence, they had no issue. They thought that the assets existed. Commencement certificate verification, they did not identify any irregularities, which is commendable. Verification of vendor eligibility and documentation, all reviewed. Claimants met the necessary pre-qualification requirements, so that's also commendable. And I encourage you to keep up in that pathway. Madam Chair, I think that will be the issues that we can deal with. Thank you so much.
So, Minister, I think that, so if you look at, but in all of this, Minister, I need you to confirm whether or not the rice, is the rice still there?
Yes, please. The rice is still there.
The rice is still there?
Yes, please.
Is the maize still there?
Yes, please.
Has the ministry lost any money as a result of this whole?
Yeah,
please.
Sorry, your question again.
Oh, please. Your vice chair is on the floor and you are in. All right. Jay.
Honorable Minister, I see that you are doing a lot of consultations. I don't know whether you heard him, because you submitted here that you had challenges.
Let me put my question. Yes. And in the spirit of protecting the public purse, in the spirit of ensuring that things that belong to us are indeed for us, and I think at the point the auditors confirmed that they have cited the rice. I just needed to know from you, I mean, whether it is under lock and key. Is the rice still there?
Honorable Chair, the rice is there.
Is the maize still there?
No, please.
The maize is not there?
No.
Have we lost any money in terms of the maize?
We haven't paid for the maize.
We have not paid for the maize?
Yes, please.
The state has not paid for the maize?
No, please.
Wow.
Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
That's why we've called the agent and then the supplier to come, and then with the ministry, and we'll find out on Thursday if the maize is there, if the rice is there, and yes. All right, sir. We are done until Thursday. You have a question to ask?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is goes to Minister. It's a public interest one. I come from Nabrongo Central constituency, where they do a lot of rice farming in respect to the tunnel irrigation project. A lot of the farmers have approached me that they may not be able to farm this season. And indeed, all other farmers who farm within the valleys, because their rice is not bought.
I'm sorry, is that?
So, what is the plan of the ministry towards buying their rice so that they can continue to produce the rice that we want for our country? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, as you are aware, the president instructed the Ministry of Finance to give the national buffer stock 300 million cedis to be able to mop up the excesses on the market, and I believe that is being done. And so please assure your farmers that indeed their rice will be bought in no time.
All right, Minister, you are discharged. Our auditors wants to say something.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, we wanted to make a clarification that we have not actually cited the 10,000 metric tons of the rice. As they have indicated, they have not been given access. What we saw there when we went the second time, the owner of the place said that it did not belong to the ministry because they had a problem with the supplier, right? So that is what is on record. So we have not actually cited the 10,000 metric tons of rice, yeah.
But Minister, you have paid the supplier for the rice.
Yes, we have.
And so when he comes in Thursday, he has to produce the rice that you paid for.
Well, yes.
Yes. If he has a problem with the warehouse guy, that's between the two of them.
Yes.
What's the name of the supplier?
Honorable Chair, Thursday he'll be here.
Thursday he'll be here.
Yes, please.
And what's the name of the warehouse owner? Because Thursday it will be done live.
The warehouse owner is, I think, called Sika Krobia Limited.
Okay.
Yes, please.
And it's right on our records.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, sir. Alaji.
Chair, we are dealing with public funds, and that is why the Public Accounts Committee is here to peruse this report. So I don't see anything wrong if the minister discloses the name of the supplier, because it is a public record, and we are dealing with public funds, Minister.
The company of the name of the supplier is called Danasi Farms Limited.
Yeah. Okay, it's in the report. It's in the report. Okay, you are discharged till Thursday. All right, thank you. Okay, now the next ministry to call is Ministry of Fisheries. Madam, where is the minister?
Unfortunately, we can't have it.
Turn the microphone on, please.
The Honorable Minister has traveled on official assignment, so we have written to that effect. Thank you.
So we'll have to reschedule you. Yeah. Yes. The minister needs to be here. So let's call Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Ministry of Fisheries. Hello.
Doctor, Chief Director.
Minister of Fisheries. Next week we are going to Tamale. A week after that we come to Kumasi. So you can choose one. And you can get in touch with you can get in touch with the clerk. Okay, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Okay, the other ministries that we called are not here. So we'll draw down the curtains for the sitting for today.
Thank you very much, Ranking, and also the chair for today's sitting. Unfortunately, we did not hear anything from Ministry of Tourism, Culture, or Creative Arts. We don't know why they did not come, but they are aware that this report was referred to the Public Accounts Committee by the Speaker, and the Speaker has given us some time to bring our findings and recommendations to the floor of Parliament. And so respectfully, our next meeting after this will be on the 7th of April in Tamale. And on the 20th of April will also be in Kumasi. So the ministries that were not able to come today, you either choose Tamale or Kumasi to make your appearance for us to conclude on these findings. They are very important. We have a program drawn up, and we don't want you to put our program in jeopardy. We have to finish this and continue with the other equally important reports that we have been given. Thank you very much. We'd like to bring today's meeting to a close. Thank the auditors, thank the attendees or invitees, thank our media people, and above all, thank our members of Parliament who are supposed to be in their constituency now, but because of this national assignment, they are here, seeing to it that we conclude on the report as mandated by Mr. Speaker and the Public Accounts Committee as well. So thank you very much. And Ranking, thank you for today.
As at 31st December 2024, this 4,147,434 was correctly classified. There's no evidence that Attãck was paid before 31st December 2024.
Auditors, are you able to tell us how you arrived at the 4,147,434?
Honorable Chair, we have had discussions with the ministry, not once, severally, where we have pointed out this overpayment to them. If it is their contention that it is not, I am surprised by it. But the understanding that we had from the Ministry of Finance, in terms of procedure, we looked at the supporting documentation from the ministry, and then we compared it to what was confirmed by the vendor, with the vendor's supporting documentation. And we again engaged the vendor, and the vendor indicated that these amounts have already been paid to them. So if this is coming from the ministry, we'd like to have the opportunity to engage the ministry again on this.
So, auditors, if I heard you clearly, you have evidence that these payments were made already. That is why you rejected them.
Honorable, yes.
What is the form of evidence you have or you saw?
So if you look at the supporting documentation, and you look at what had been confirmed by the supplier, and you do the so you have your evidence and supporting documents, and then you have the supplier's supporting document about the outstanding payments. You can clearly see that the difference, is what had been paid, and we engaged the ministry on this, and the ministry confirmed that it had been paid. This is why we have not had any discrepancy throughout the exit meeting and even the meetings at the Ministry of Finance. So if
this audit was conducted, or it's a 31st December 2024 audit that you conducted. Now, from the ministry's point of view, the payment to Attãck indeed happened on the 6th of January 2025, and I have the bank statement from the Bank of Ghana on this very transaction with me. And so if they say as at December 31st, the ministry owed Attãck this X amount, indeed, that should be the case.
Honorable Chair, as I said, this evidence was not made known to us. So we'll take a look at the evidence that had been...
But ministry, why did you not make this evidence available to the auditors when they came to you?
Honorable, is the authentication process. We told them that we hadn't paid. They wrote to the contractor. The contractor said that he has been paid. They didn't authenticate what the contractor said. When were you paid and what? So this conclusion, when they came to us that this man was paid, as at that time we knew, but we told them that if you are the contractor is going to confirm as at the time you ask him. So as at the time you ask him, his probably has been paid. But this was correctly classified before 31st December 2024.
Well, it runs through the entire process, because a period was given for the audit, 31st December, and if payments are made after 31st December, you certainly would not expect them to speak to it. But I expected some reconciliation before we spent a lot of money in printing these huge books for members of parliament to take their time and be going through and all of that. It's a bit worrying. So I don't know if you have something to say, Mr. Auditor.
Honorable Chair, we'll engage the MDA, on this new evidence, and we'll revert.
There's this issue of Gruma, and the amount involved is 4,108,482, and it has to do with the construction of a 10-unit grain warehouses in the Northern Zone districts under IPEP, Ministry of Agric.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Again, we have not made any payment to Gruma Twins as far as the 4,108,482 is concerned. There's no evidence from our side. I don't know if the auditors had obtained any evidence that this money was paid and it was known to us.
Is it up to date? Are you speaking?
No, I'm talking about
as at 31st December.
Yes.
As at 31st December.
Yes. Even now, I cannot confirm that.
Even now, you cannot confirm.
No, because we have not made such payments.
You have not made such payments.
Yes.
But run us through, how are payments made at your end for suppliers? And luckily for us, we have a man from Controller today as a member of Parliament. So please run us through so that at least we can confirm.
Usually when we receive a claim, we also go ahead and with the supporting documents, and then with the approval of the minister, we submit a request to the Minister of Finance for release of funds. The Minister of Finance also goes through a process, authenticate the documents, verify, and then if they are satisfied, they send their release, or they release the funds to us. Then we raise an invoice based on the released funds. It was probably sometimes goes back to Minister of Finance, or it goes directly to controller. If it goes to Minister of Finance also go through the invoice and then check the necessary documentation and approve, and it will go back to controller. Then depending on funds availability, controller will send the funds to our treasury. And then also it also goes through verification, because the treasury officer will also have to verify the PV with all the necessary documentation. If they are satisfied, then we issue the command, and then Bank of Ghana will pay the supplier.
So the command comes from the Ministry of Agri?
Yes.
For BAG to pay the supplier?
Yes.
So it means that if Gruma were to be having paid, you will be in the known?
Yes. Exactly.
So, but during the exit meeting, when the auditors told you that they have documentation to the effect that, or they've spoken to Gruma and that Gruma has been paid this amount of money, what reasoning did you give to the auditors?
We maintain that we have no knowledge that this money has been paid.
Well, if the contractor says that the state has paid him and the ministry has no knowledge, it's a bit, I nearly said hallelujah, because but auditors, why would this happen? I mean, why, is there any explanation why in their books? Because they have to give the command for payment. He's saying that he has not done any such thing. Unless you are able to tell this committee that the Ministry of Finance paid at the blind side of the ministry.
Honorable Chair, this response by the MDA is quite new to us. I guess what we'll need to do is to revert to the MDA, again, so then we can come back to the committee. Thank you.
All right, please do kindly engage so that we are able to get the right figures and all of that. Let me come to Rans Logistics Limited, and this has to do with transportation and distribution of 134,000 metric tons of imported rice and maize. The amount involved is 57,600,000, and I think that this is what the Deputy Minister made reference to, claiming that the contractor had come back to pay some 19 million plus to the ministry. But let me just begin from the 57,600,000. Ministry of Agri.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, but before I answer that one, I want to also put on note that our responses are not new to the auditors, as they claim. Because these documents, all these suppliers that we are talking about, we gave them the files for the contracts, and they peruse. They only choose to take the words of the contractor over our data. And when the contractors were responding to them, we didn't have a hindsight to peruse it. So sometimes the two are clear, but I think it's a convenience pick. Because I looked through, we warned them about some maybe inaccuracies that might have come from the contractors. And if you receive it, you needed to authenticate it. If you don't authenticate and yet you are using as a sacrosanct against our data, that's also a problem. But coming back to Rans Logistics.
No, I'm coming. But UI, when you went to meet with the suppliers, why did you not release same to the ministry so that they can authenticate or otherwise the information that you were given?
Honorable Chair, with respect of this 57.6 million.
No, I think it was a general observation that in all the infractions that have been cited, when you engaged the private companies involved, you never came back to them to tell them about what these companies had told you, but you went ahead to do your report.
Honorable
yes,
Chair,
yes, go ahead.
We engaged them severally. That's why I keep saying that their responses are surprising to me, because we engaged them severally. We had exit meeting with them where these rejected were made available to them. They came to the Ministry of Finance when they were given the opportunity, and they did not raise these issues. Indeed, they accepted the amounts that have been rejected. So I am quite surprised.
If you say you engaged them, did you write to them that these are your observations? And if you wrote to them, can you give us a copy of the letter that was given to the Ministry of Agric so that we are able to, because it's your word against theirs. And like a very popular case that happened, you and I were not there. We can only verify based on the document that, I mean, in engaging the ministry, I mean, it ought to be on a paper. You cannot do that by word of mouth.
Honorable Chair, we were working at the ministry. So when we received the confirmation and we noted differences, as part of the evidence gathering, we engaged them that, look, this is what the supplier has confirmed, and this is the difference. Can you please check your records and give us additional information as to why the supplier's confirmation is inaccurate? We didn't have that, and we put it in the report. This report was shared with all MDAs when we issued the draft report to the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Finance organized a meeting for all the MDAs. They were giving a copy of the report, and it was in the form of the arrears, what had been validated, and the reasons for the rejection of the amounts. And we have had these meetings, and they were giving opportunity to.
Well, like I mentioned, we were in there, you and I certainly. But I felt that, I mean, despite the fact, I mean, you are not an employee of the ministry, and so if you have done an audit of the ministry and there are some findings, at least there has to be a paper trail so that we get to know that these are the concerns that you raised. If they were unable to respond, then we can hold them responsible, because it's claimed that you did not get back to him. Would sound like somebody getting away with...
Honorable Chair, we engaged them. We couldn't have put the report together without engaging them.
Well, Ministry of Agric, the auditors engaged you.
Yes, Honorable. The engagement, we engage, severally. But for the specific points, for example, the responses from the contractors to them, they were not shared with us. They were not shared with us. This is what you only send us a table that this is what the contractor said, that he has been paid. But we cannot authenticate it.
Let's get to Rand's logistics. Okay, please kindly hold on, a colleague wants to.
Yeah, just to inquire from the auditors. Is there in any way where the rep from the ministry vis-a-vis the contractors were at the same time together to deliberate on any of these findings?
Honorable Chair, the suppliers, no, together with the ministry and us, no. There was not such a forum where the three of us were seated, but we made known to the ministry the responses we had received from the suppliers.
So, Honorable Chair, this thing is getting very disturbing. The parties here are under oath. There's a standard procedure that the auditing will usually take. And yet, what the ministry is saying is that it appears there's a discrepancy between what they presented as evidence to the auditors and what the auditors are reporting. At the same time, we are convinced from both submissions, indeed, submissions from both sides, that there was an exit meeting. So what did the exit meeting arrive at? And how come a committee of parliament is being put through this? Certainly, some untruth is being told here. And we are all under oath. So I'm wondering, can we really get this thing properly handled and know where the axe falls? Is audits. What happened? Did you really get this job really done? If you did, then how come the budget officer is saying this?
Just to add on to, and I think it's a very, very important point. I mean, there were references made to this report on the floor of Parliament, which, in fact, there were references made which were not captured in this report. It was not captured in this report. It was until after we had met as a committee, keep government resources. Is that the case?
Yes, Honorable. The supplier, initially the party people prevented him, and subsequently the supplier owned his agent, so they didn't give him access to continue the transportation.
Party people prevent.
Since some people came and took over the warehouse.
When was this? When was this done?
That is after the election.
After the election?
Yeah, we have to get the military to even intervene, but still.
So then this claim about they not distributing and all of that is non-existent. To go through this report that we got additional document information. I mean, you went ahead, prepared a report. You did not include it. It was used on the floor to make a very bold statement. And I don't want to engage because, you see, as politicians or as ministers or as wherever, we feed on information that is given us. We act on information that are given us. It was not contained in the report, and today we are being asked to speak to it. And you realize that, because you see, most of these suppliers, and what I find worrying is that most of these suppliers are always at the ministry. They are chasing their contracts, they are chasing their payments, they are following up on projects. And so if you engage them at a conference, the conference room of the ministry, you could just have said that, well, Gruma says that it's been paid. You are also saying it's not been paid. What is the truth in this? So that this thing does not come to us and our colleagues are in the house engaging their constituents, and we have to sit here doing this. So please, kindly respond to what happened with respect to RANS Logistics.
Again, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, RANS Logistics was properly classified. RANS Logistics contract total was 150,200,000. We made an application to the Minister of Finance. Minister of Finance released or gave it a warrant of 57,600,000. That was 50% of the invoice of RANS Logistics. We had a warrant of 57,600,000. Since then, we haven't received any warrant until the end of 31st December 2024. So invariably, the outstanding on the invoice of 150,200,000 is 57,600,000. Unless the auditors have any evidence that since the warrant of 57,600,000, there was an additional 57,600,000 paid.
Oh, no, please, just take your time. Because just this morning we have been told of some 19 million that was paid, 19.1 that was returned to coffers. And you are saying that there hasn't been any additional. Why would the company return 19.1 million?
Okay, Honorable, I think that is another realm. But we are saying at this stage, the auditor stated that 57,600,000 had already been paid, and yet we included it in our submission to them as claims. The story is that the invoice of Rans Logistics is 150,200,000. What was released before 31st December 2024 was 57,600,000. So it's clear that the outstanding on that invoice was 57,600,000. And that is what we stated as our outstanding to Rans Logistics.
So
as at this point.
I think that because there's no capex, this is under goods and services, and I think the law is a bit stricter. But the appreciation I get is that their duty was to transport and distribute 134,000 metric tons of imported rice and maize. And this was under a certificate of emergency. Is that the case?
Yes, Honorable.
Is that why you go ahead and pay the total amount when they are not delivered? What were you hoping that they should do?
It was 50% that was paid.
Yes, I mean, why would you? Because in the report we don't get the appreciation that they have distributed the 50%. So why do you go ahead to pay 50% to them?
Okay, Honorable, I thought that because we had a prepared response for that, but maybe I will just give you the background why this 57 million was released. This was a top management decision because it was an emergency situation. The transportation involved was 134,000 metric tons. These are millions of bags, 50 kg bags. And to mobilize transportation for such, emergency situation is thousands and easy task for the ministry. We had contacted a lot of transporters. They could not lift anything. So the decision was, if we have money at hand, then we can facilitate the emergency distribution of the. So this was discussed between finance and then the ministry at the top level. And that resulted in the release of the 57 million. Said that when we have it, and as and when, we got the transportation, and then we pay.
Okay, so you are telling us that because of the emergency situation in this nature, of this particular transportation of rice and distribution of rice and maize, and you needed to pay the money to the firm, in Rans Logistics, so that they distribute as and when. But did you have the rice and maize in your possession that they were going to distribute these items?
Honorable, yes. As at that time, we had inspected the rice at the warehouse of the supplier because we didn't have capacity for storage. We went physically encountered and took possession by way of putting our padlocks with the supplier padlocks in it before the transporter was to start. But it's not that we were to pay the transporter ahead of it because we needed the money because it was an emergency situation, because the application process is long. So we needed the money to have come to the treasury of the Ministry of Agri so that we can facilitate payment. Because it was an emergency, because they are also mobilizing other transporters to help, because there were millions of bags involved. But this was just the time that elections had just also been concluded, and there was a change of government. So the transporter, when went to pick the items, they were physically prevented. Not the supplier, but other parties that were not parties to the contracts. So we're on it. And that's how come that Rans Logistics couldn't do much because they needed access to the rice and then the maize to be able to perform.
So you had engaged this company to be doing distribution.
Yes.
But because of, I mean, we all saw what happened in the news and all of that. So it gets to the warehouse, it's unable to pick the products. But it needed to have distributed the 134,000 across the country where there was a need for. And so why have you not resumed that the contractor or the contractor involved now has to come back and pay monies to or return monies to you? 19 million, 19.1 million. Why have you not resumed the distribution?
No, what happened was that when the chaos happened, then the supplier also had mobilized. You know, on several occasions they go and they don't have access, and it also said that it was costing him. But at that time, Controller had released 50 million for us in his name. So when we did the reconciliation, we realized that what he had transported was not up to the 50 million. So
because he was prevented?
Yes.
Because they were prevented from accessing the warehouses?
Yes.
Because the warehouses were locked under lock and key?
Yes.
And so it was not as if somebody somewhere was engaged in trying to.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.